And now it is my pleasant duty to introduce our honored guest, who will speak with us today about educating the heart and the mind, and doing so as the universal responsibility for the 21st century. He is a man whose authority and infectious personality speaks to persons of all faiths, whose learning is as extensive as his wisdom is profound, and whose teachings draw so deeply upon the wellsprings of Buddhist philosophy and Tibetan culture. His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso, was born July 6, 1935, to a farming family in northeastern Tibet. At the age of 2, he was recognized as the reincarnation of the 13th Dalai Lama. And Dalai Lamas are understood to be manifestations of the Bodhisattva of compassion, the patron saint of Tibet. After 17 years of rigorous education in literature, art, culture, medicine, philosophy, science, and language, His Holiness earned the Geshe Larampa degree. That is the highest degree in the Tibetan education system, equivalent to a doctorate in Buddhist philosophy. In 1950, His Holiness was called upon to assume full political power also as head of the state of Tibet after China's military action in Tibet in 1949. After years of unsuccessful peace talks, it was in 1959 that His Holiness escaped into exile and established his residence in Dharamsala, northern India, the seat of the Tibetan political administration in exile. His Holiness is a man of peace. In 1989, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his nonviolent struggle on behalf of the people of Tibet. He also became the first Nobel laureate to be recognized for his concern for global environmental problems. His Holiness describes himself, and he told us this again today, he describes himself as a simple Buddhist monk, a monk with 3 principal commitments. First, on the level of a human being, His Holiness is committed to promoting compassion and forgiveness, for promoting tolerance, contentment, and self-discipline. Recognizing all human beings as the same, His Holiness refers to these human values as secular ethics. Second, on the level of a religious practitioner, His Holiness is committed to promoting religious harmony and understanding among the world's major religious traditions. Despite philosophical differences, all major world religions have the same potential to create good human beings, in his view. Third, as a Tibetan who carries the title of Dalai Lama, His Holiness is committed to serving the Tibetan people as a free spokesperson in behalf of their struggle for justice. Since 1959, His Holiness has received countless awards, honorary doctorates, and prizes in recognition of his message of peace, nonviolence, interreligious understanding, universal responsibility, and compassion. Most recently, he was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal, as you heard Congressman Lewis say, just last week in Washington before coming to Atlanta. In 1998, Emory University awarded His Holiness an honorary doctorate. And to conclude my introduction, I would like to read from the citation that was given to him at that time for that award. It read, "The President, trustees, and faculty of Emory University take pleasure in honoring His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. Descending from the lion's throne, you walk among your people, embodying compassion, reviving hope. Awake, alert, mind raging far in disciplined curiosity, you build a bridge between the East and the West for the sake of all who would seek enlightenment. Your principled refusal of the world's reliance on violence and confrontation opens a path from the wilderness of the human heart to the peace of the Tsangpo River flowing through the land of the snows. The humility and mindfulness of your visage frame a Buddha's smile, tracing bemused and gentle kindness. Your heart combines the courage of the eagle and the mildness of the dove. Please join me in welcoming His Holiness, the Dalai Lama.
Firstly, I want to express to the sky, it seems now quite okay. A little bit worried. This morning, some raining. So very good. Now, they are the Labde Zunzi Chowdang, any the Chozo Wome, Timmy, Hungry, and down the single Labde Jigta, Chikigan Abatang, and a Manzo, Chero Pomotanje, someone on the Shalia, and other day, Kamisha Kukoson, Bay Kabuchon, and the Kandus goes number 2 Shishuing.
President Wagner, Congressman Lewis, members of the Emory University's faculty and students, brothers and sisters, it's a great pleasure for me to have this opportunity to be with you here today, and I would like to take the opportunity at the beginning to express my deep appreciation for giving me this opportunity, and also I would like to express my appreciation to the warm words of welcome from you.
In other days, Sunday day, Jigdan Zamuni China Kaskalia, Javacheagi, Pigay Kasur Pigay, the Chagin, the Mikdu Yadava. Any Harvard to ya, any Teganjo, the Kaso de Luther King, Kongi de Home Church, Emkanda de Chig, Denegi. Sunday Chai in Duzane, Mixegi Gaucho.
President Wagner, you mentioned about Emory University's role as a portal through which Atlanta and its community can interact with the wider international community. And because of that, and also because of the fact that Atlanta is the home to Martin Luther King's foundation, therefore I feel that Atlanta has a special significance, and it's a great joy for me to be with you today, citizens of Atlanta.
Thank you.
Whenever I talk about non-violence, I always refer Mahatma Gandhi ji, Nelson Mandela, and Luther King. So when you refer his name, I really felt something very deep in my heart. And I never met Luther King, but his late wife, on occasion I met. And when I listen stories of her late husband, something really admiration automatically come. Now this is my broken English, no need translation. So now, while you introduced me in the subject which I study, you also mentioned medicine.
Yes.
That I don't know. I knows how to take medicine, but difficult to know the medical sort of philosophy or medical sort of techniques. I really don't know. So in any way, last few days here, I really enjoyed. The sort of different engagement, meeting with students or professors or different religious sort of representative. I really feel full of human love, human sort of affection. And I think full of enthusiasm. And I really sort of appreciate. And also I consider that is really very, very important. In order to create oneself as a happy human being and happy human family and further happy humanity, these are the most important elements. Warm-heartedness, straightforward, and affection, and meantime, visions. These are, I think, really very, very important for happy life, not only present, but future. So last few days, I really felt that kind of feeling. So, more sort of happy feeling, I feel proud. Now I become one professor of this university. But meantime, I made very clear that firstly, I cannot spend much time here in this university in order to teach. Then also, I am a bit lazy person, so I cannot spend more time for homework in order to give sort of teaching to others. So therefore, I most probably will be hopeless professor. So in any way, one thing quite sure, I have warm-heartedness. Whatever way, some service to other, till my death, I always ready to offer my service. Now here, a big audience. Basically, we are, completely same. I am nothing special. Physically, mentally, emotionally, we are same. And also, we all see the same sort of potential of anger, hatred, jealousy, fighting. This is also part of our nature. On the other hand, compassion, affection, tolerance, spirit of brotherhood, sisterhood, this is also part of our mind. So, according to my own little experience, I think experience which I learned through my life, and particularly under difficult sort of life, what I learned when we facing difficulties, most reliable friend is our own inner quality, mainly warm-heartedness, compassionate feeling. including physical illness and also tragedy. No matter what the difficulties, if you keep here warmth or affection or warm-heartedness, then you can take these sort of, painful experience, can take easily. So this painful experience comes and go, will not remain deeper sort of wound in our mind. If our mind, more agitated mind, more sort of more closer to anger, hatred, then even small event immediately destroy our peace of mind. Then there's
tragic experience. The tragedy.
Then the impact in our whole mind much more stronger. As a result, that tragedy sort of imprint in our mind remain longer period. As a result, you will be unhappy person. Eventually, your physical condition ruined, and whole your life then become difficult. So challenge, some problems always there. But then, when we face this problem, our own mental attitude is the key factor. Whether this external problem can destroy your peace of mind or not, mainly depend on your own mental attitude. That I learned. So whenever I have the opportunity meeting with public, I always share this experience. So my 3 commitment already, President is made already clear. So I do not go to repeat. So it is quite a pity. Now nothing left to say.
I'm sorry.
So now the point is, as I mentioned earlier, we should have clear awareness about our potential. Those potential of destructiveness, potential of constructiveness. I think very important to know that and make distinction. What kind of emotion is constructive? What kind of emotion is destructive? Then usually, you see, we take for granted all these negative emotions pass of our mind, so it's something normal. I think that's a mistake. Through that way, you see, we neglected about these inner different sort of emotions. So as we take the serious or
distinctions.
We usually make distinction in matters or external thing, something helpful to us, something harmful. We realize that, analyze that, then those harmful things we try to get rid of. Those helpful things we take, not only take, but try to multiply. So similarly, within our mind, among the emotions, once we realize that some are very harmful, some are very helpful, then identify these different emotions. Then we have to make effort to reduce this destructive emotion and try to increase or positive or constructive emotion. Now, destructive emotion, how to reduce, how to tackle these. All these positive and negative emotions not rise without causes and conditions. These both positive and negative, you see, develop is according to its own causes and conditions. So at the level, the causing about to move, that time, you see, with mindfulness, awareness, or checking our own mind, that's the prime time to tackle, to take preventive measure, so that these destructive emotions then cannot develop, even develop with sort of weak
Force.
weak force, and will not remain long period. So now, the meantime, with realization of awareness, those positive emotions, then try to nurture these positive emotions. Then these emotions contradictory. So the positive emotions such as compassion, loving kindness, these things gain strength. Gain
Strength.
gain strength. Automatically, the strength of anger, hatred, these things will reduce. So that's a natural law. Like heat increase, the coldness reduce. Coldness increase, heat reduce. Something like that. In our emotions, the contradictory forces by nature already there. So now the question of what's the compassion. Firstly, the seed of compassion from birth we already have. Because very nature, we come from our mother, and our survival entirely depend on others' affection, others' care. So not only human beings, but other animals and also birds. You see, their survival depend on others' care. Then by nature, the so-called the sense of affection then develop or there. I often see telling people, there's some animal, like a turtle, and also a butterfly, or moth, these animals, although their offspring come from their mother, and also there's some fish, like salmon fish, although they come from mother through egg or something like that, but then their survival not depend on others' care, like some of these offspring of turtle. Mother lay down the egg, then left. The survival entirely depend on those young turtle themselves. And also salmon, fish. Once egg lay down, the mother die. And many other sort of species of, insects like that. So because of such nature, I don't think they have the capacity to show affection. For example, turtle mother and her offspring, if we try to put together, I don't think they have the capacity to show
Bond.
affection each other. I don't think. Even I think mother turtle may eat her own sort of offspring. So now we human beings, in that category, our survival entirely depends on others' care. So by nature, biologically, we have this sort of potential showing affection. Now the human being's case, we come from our mother. According Indian ancient sort of story, and some also great sort of beings come from lotus. So sometimes I jokingly telling, those sort of great masters or great beings who born from lotus, perhaps they may have more affection towards lotus rather than human being. But we are, in a way, fortunate, come from mother's womb. So because of that nature, we equipped the sense of affection from that moment. I always was telling people, I have certain amount of affection or compassion towards others. But seed of that not come from Buddhism, not come from religion, but come from my mother. My mother, so kind. Almost we never notice our mother's sort of angry moment. Always gentle, very warm-hearted. Whenever she met some poor people or difficult people, she always responded. So my compassion, first, I think I learned from her. And therefore, we all, survived. Or
Grew up.
I think survived under the care of mother or someone else who acting like mother. Then, at young age, where people children grown up, the home were full of affection. Then these children, mental development more healthy way, physical development also more healthy way. Those children who grown up in a home or wherever they live, lack of human affection, fear, constant threat, or bully, these children not only suffer their mind, mental level, but also suffer in their physical well-being. Then I think more serious thing is whole their life then become one human being cannot respond to other suffering
With affection.
or
With affection.
without affection and sensitivity about others, then other suffering, I think, much less. And such people, then they always feel frustration, and the frustration transformed anger, anger brings violence. So when we talk about peaceful society, peaceful world, peace must come through inner peace. And genuine inner peace not come through government regulation or journals. I think this is journals of the modern education. I do not think it's sufficient. The genuine inner peace we received from our mother, then eventually we have to take sort of, nurturing that. That's important. I always feel that it's absolutely possible, to transform our society into more compassionate society, because the seed is there, potential is there. Now the family life, particularly parent, please give to your children maximum affection, maximum care. Of course, I'm monk, so I have no that responsibility. The people who have children, you see, your sort of additional sort of responsibility is not only just education or nice clothes, but provide maximum affection. That's, I think, very, very important in order to transform our society. More violent society, more sort of, the society where a lot of mental crisis and eventually suicide. Now, everybody, you see, takes serious concern about this sort of situation. This situation. So we need, I think, a long-term strategy is, I think, very, very important. So one way, family life is very important. Then second, in education's field, often I raise the question whether today's modern education system, whether adequate or not, about the taking care of warm-heartedness. Many of my friends agree modern education system pay full attention about brain development, not adequate educating warm-heartedness. So you see, we really need some sort of serious research work now, since this university showing genuine interest about our inner value. So I think, you see, you eventually, I think, can make certain sort of, curriculum, right?
Create a curriculum, develop
create
curriculum.
new curriculum, how to educate warm-heartedness from kindergarten up to university level. I think that's very, very important. So in that project, this professor always available. In any way, I really see the keen interest. Some effective technique to educate entire humanity importance of love and compassion. Although this word, 1,000 years, repeat that. But sometimes we just, something like a nice word, nothing more. And then also, in some cases, the people feel compassion, forgiveness, these are religious matter. So those people who have faith or who are follower of religion, then these are part of the practice, important part of practice. But those individuals who have no special interest, no serious interest about religion, then no interest about these inner values. I think that's a mistake. Religion is something different. If you have religious faith, all major religious tradition, you see, teach us importance of compassion, forgiveness, these things. In order to do that, use different method. Theistic religion, the concept of God, creator, full of love. As much you love to God, you must love to fellow human being. That's the essence of your teaching. In order to develop that enthusiasm, I think the very concept, this very life created by God, is something very powerful concept. So that concept brings you feeling of intimacy with God. So more intimacy feeling, there is more willingness to follow His advice or His wish. So that's very, very powerful sort of concept or approach, way of approach. Then non-theistic religious tradition, law of causality. That also, to some people, that way of approach also very effective. Our concern about happiness and suffering both entirely depend its own causes conditions. So harming other is the causes of suffering or pains. Helping other, bring happiness to other, the result you will get happiness. So that concept, everything go according to its own causes conditions. So therefore, the serious of interest, practice of love, compassion, because of that concept. So this similar sort of goal, similar sort of effect, but different way of approach. So if you take religion, it's good. However, if someone not much interested in religion, okay, no need or compulsory to be religious-minded. Remain a non-believer. However, there's no point to neglect about these inner value, compassion, forgiveness. These things, as a human beings are social animal. Therefore, our daily life have to interact with rest of the community. So some disagreement bound to happen. Then best thing is dialogue. In order to develop dialogue, willpower is essential. For that, self-confidence is essential. For development of self-confidence, affection, compassion is the foundation of self-confidence. It's quite clear. Those people who have more compassionate feeling, that brings self-confidence. So compassion, the structure of the compassion is not only taking care of yourself, but taking care of others. That also comes through volunteer way. So there, one aspect of compassion is self-confidence. Full self-confidence, then further sort of reach out to others. So affection or compassion really brings not only, I think, brings inner strength. Inner strength, self-confidence, reduce fear. Reduce fear, more calm mind, more peaceful mind. Your health also improve. That is from my own experience. I can tell you, the peace of mind is very, very important element for healthy body. That's clear. So, now what else? So then I usually is telling people, now, in order to have genuine world peace, firstly, we individual should develop inner peace. Through inner peace, then genuine outer peace can achieve. And then here, I usually see telling. Now we need two kinds of disarmament. Firstly, inner disarmament. That means deliberately try to reduce anger, hatred, jealousy, these things. That's I usually call inner disarmament. So that will lead external disarmament because concept of war is outdated. It is very clear. In ancient time, in the past, the interest of different sort of community is more or less independent. Under that circumstances, concept of war sometimes, yes, one way of practice, one way of a method. Destruction of your enemy is victory of yourself. So under that circumstances, the concept of war come. Now today's reality, our interest, their interest, very much interconnected. Your interest, American interest, very much connected with Europe, very much connected with Arab, very much connected with Asia, and Latin America, Africa. So the rest of the world is actually part of your own, in a way, part of your own sort of what's the your own home. So under that new reality, destruction of so-called enemy is actually destruction of yourself. So through war, through violence, you cannot achieve what you want. So conflict, different opinions always happen. The only thing is through dialogue. In the spirit of reconciliation. So that's how to achieve genuine, lasting world peace. I usually call like that. Then through that way, I think we should have clear sort of ideas or visions in our mind. When we look back 20th century, that century become like century of bloodshed. A lot of problem still there. Through bloodshed, never solve this problem. Still problem there. Many problems which we are facing today is either mistake in the past or neglect in the past. So therefore, that century, I think bloodshed, sort of, millions of people killed, not much sort of benefit or not solve our problem. So now only sensible way to face the problem or conflict is through dialogue. Therefore, this century, 21st century, should be century of dialogue. That's, I think, very important. My own case, the Tibetan struggle is concerned. Right from the beginning, we totally committed non-violent way. And that also not one-sided victory, but mutually agreeable solution. So that's why many Chinese brothers, sisters now really showing us solidarity, right? And moral support. Now year by year, it's increasing. Because, you see, we firstly follow strictly non-violence, and secondly, not one-side victory, but mutually equitable solution, mutual sort of victory. So that's, I think, very important in any world issue. I think that kind of spirit through dialogue and respect others' interest, understand others' view, and then through that way, in the spirit of compromise, that's the only way. So America, your greatest, most powerful democratic country, in spite of some mistake policy here and there, but basically you are really champion of democracy, rule of law, liberty, freedom, these things. So your ancestors sort of principle, you should, not only should keep alive here, but also I think should expand to rest of the world. I feel that's, I think, your special sort of responsibility. At one time in John F. Kennedy's time, what we call Peace Corps. I think that is a very good one. So instead of sending army, sending soldier, more Peace Corps, go different countries, help and serve. I think, see, recently I was in Japan, so some people used to ask me, among the Japanese youth or student, rate of suicide is increasing. So they asked me, you see, about that. I responded, what to do? I responded, oh, maybe the young Japanese, full of energy, better education, so go outside the world, and like one time American Peace Corps, like Japanese Peace Corps, go different place, instead of worry, depression in your own home, go outside, more service. You can get something kind of, sense of purpose, sense of satisfaction will gain. So here, similarly, United States, I think you have that great potential, particularly like this university. I think many university students, I think, you see, the great potential to serve other people, that really helpful to improve image of United States. I think very important. Then sometimes as a nature, big nation, powerful nation, sometimes little, or say, chauvinism. Arrogance, chauvinism. That also very possible. So be careful on that aspect. So must realize others' feeling. Smaller nation, weaker nation, they may feel little sort of fear or little doubt towards the United States. You must know that. So, and you have to act according that way. That's important. Thank you very much. Yes. Some questions. Yes. Okay.